Hello, welcome back. We're working on our next signature. This is going to be signature number 3. And this is what I've got laid out. So we are going to start with this piece. And there's some other edges around this that I cut off, and then I cut my base. And on the reverse side is this, is what's considered the A side of the paper. This is the B. And I got smart this time. I marked what was up, what was on the top, so that I cut my pages the right length. Now I am changing this up just a tad bit. We're going to cut this one at 8 3/4. I found that the 8 7/8 was a tad bit high. So 8 3/4 by 8 3/8. The 8 and, I'll show you. The 8 3/4 allowed for a little bit of wiggle room on the top and the bottom. 8 7/8 just did not allow enough room for you to actually set this in on an even plane. So I did reduce it by 1/8 of an inch. Now, one of the pieces that we're going to cut here in a minute is going to have this on the back side, and it will have this, it's a string of poinsettias, and I wanted to somewhat center this. And then there was a poinsettia that got cut off at this end, and so I fussy cut it, and we're going to place it right here. And then I'm going to come in here just off center just a little bit and put the North Pole tag. And I need to trim this up just a little bit more. Get that off of there. And then that's just going to come in and sit right behind this poinsettia. And I will ink the edge on this. So I will show you what piece we're going to be cutting this off of so that you can get it out. It is the piece that has the record on it. And on the, let me pull this out. And then this is how it looks. So across the top, so this is what came in across the top of it, somewhere in there. On the reverse side, you're going to find, like I said, this green poinsettia strip. So you can go ahead and set this, but you're not going to be able to put this in until we cut the pieces, okay? Okay. So my entire piece, I'm going to go ahead and set it so that you can see what it looks like, because you'll be doing yours at the tail end. And I told you the wrong side on that. Oh, no, I didn't. This matches, this is the reverse side of that piece. Now, this guy here, because I'm trying to trim to this, this measures in at 2 3/4 inches. And I do want to deco my corners. And then I'm gonna ink up those edges just a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna glue this on. Ouch! Oh, just poked myself. That's always such an adrenaline rush when you poke yourself, at least when you weren't expecting it. Match these up. Then I'm going to go ahead and put this down. And please don't second guess and cut ahead of schedule. Let me just get through this and you'll see what you have to work with. Like I said, you can set your cardstock piece in. You can go ahead and fussy cut or cut out your North Pole, and then you'll come back in here in a little bit and you will be able to finish this off. I just don't want to, I'm only going to do about 2/3 of this. All right, so let's go ahead and let's get our panels, get those set, and then we can start trimming and cutting. Our right side panel is going to come in at 6.5 inches by your 8 3/4 inches. You're going to score at 1/2, and then you're going to score it at 5/8. So 6.5 across, 8 3/4. You're going to score at 1/2, and then you're going to score at 5/8. And I'm going to pull that right up to that 1/2 inch score mark. And push that back to reinforce that score line. And then your left side panel is going to be 5.5 inches by your 8 3/4, and you're going to score it at 1/2, and you're going to score it at 5/8. And if you're doing any decorative punch, now would be a good time to do that, so that when you cut your pattern paper and cut it to fit, then you're going to be able to have it ready to punch those. And I'm going to push back. All right, so let's go finish the inside. We are going to play with this beautiful, beautiful piece here. The reverse side is the big circle one that has the boy and the girl in the center, but I want to use this side. It just blends with this so well. And then we're going to take some of the scraps. We're going to cut a 1 1/4 inch band. I may have to trim this down just a little bit. I don't have much room there. A 1 1/4 inch band, and then you're going to trim to fit this inside. That's a little bit better. And then I'm going to run a thin bead of tape. I haven't decided yet. I'll make the last minute decision here. We're going to make a tuck. There, I said it. Just set this in here. Sorry about this, but I took it too far this way. And then I went to my little cutouts and cut out the one that says Gingerbread Bakery, and we're going to put this right in the center of this. So I'm just going to put a touch of glue down the center and on each side because I don't want glue spreading onto the page. And then we're going to kind of center it as best as possible. Now, let's, magnet. We're going to put the left side over the right side. Pull my hand away. That's roughly the center. It doesn't have to be exactly perfect. And then, you know, I always tear off these little bits and pieces to act as my magnet buffer, and then I toss them, and then I have to tear another piece. Okay, there we go. And then we're going to put some tape on this side. And then make sure that your gussets are flat, that they're not folding in on you, that your top and bottom is even. There we go. I'm going to save that one this time. Put some tape so that that does not decide to take a walkabout under my paper. Okay, now I cut this piece. I really like this, so I cut this side first, and then when I came over to cut this side, I wanted this. It just makes for interesting look to the paper, and so when you're putting your photos in here, you will have something behind it that's creeping out that will make for a great background for the photo. So now I've got to start to think here to maximize this. I just blew it. Oh, for Pete's sake, Charlie. Let me get this on. I can't believe I did this. I cannot believe I did it. Stop. Everybody just stop. Okay, I have to take this off. I forgot a critical part of what goes in here. Maybe I don't have to take the whole thing off, but I totally spaced. I'm adjusted. Okay, you should have a lot of long strips in your scraps. I want you to find two that will measure out to about 3 3/8. And then you're going to put it on the scoreboard and you're going to score it at 1/2. Then you're going to score it at 4 1/2. And then I want you to cut it off at 8 inches. This is going to go to the back side. Just come in off the top. You can lay it right down on the piece below. And because this is so wet, I'm just going to put some glue here. Okay, and then these will fold in. And then in your scraps, it'll be a bit of a mismatch. We are going to cut some pieces. I'll cap that for now. And I totally spaced. These will be some small photo flaps. And you should, in your scraps, have enough to cover these. And they're going to open up this way, and then they're going to open this way. And I'm going to stick this one here so that they're not both on the same side. Oh, for Pete's sake. I am just, now I've got myself rattled. So I have this side and this side. I don't know that it really matters. I think I'm going to put this one, I'm going to use this side. And choose from your scraps which side of the paper you want to use. There's no right or wrong in this. It is your album after all. You just want to make sure that you've got your images going in the right direction. I have been known to not do that from time to time. Hopefully you don't have to cut into your cardstock or into your pattern paper. You should be able to do this with your scraps. Okay, so there's that one. Now, I'm just such a dingling. I don't want that to get all over everything. So I'm going to... My poor jacket gets beat up in here. And here's my other one. I'm just going to line it up behind here. Come on. Don't be a poo. Don't be a poo. And then I'm just going to glue this because I want this to set up. I don't want to deal with tape that has to but I want to make sure it's not getting in my seams. All right, so I wanted my front two to be matching. I'm really glad I caught it when I did, but I'm still not pleased with myself. I just had them off to the side and totally forgot all about them. Okay, so that side and this side. And then this little thread in your brain goes, ah, there's something missing. Should have had these inked, but like I said, I just sat them aside and forgot all about them. Let's at least get the jingle bells going in the right direction. Now, if you don't want to cover them, you don't have to. It's not a requirement. Oh, there it is. But I'm going to use, you can just leave them blank and then put your photos right in on top and use the red cardstock as your framework for around your photos. Okay, so that's how that is supposed to finish off. All right, now I will finish with this. So if I put it here, then I've got two spots to put two photos. I was thinking about dropping it down here so that it would take on one big photo. But I'm going to go for maximum photo coverage. So if I'm at, so I'm going to be 4 and right about there. Perfect. Now we got a nice tuck. And we'll go over here and we will do this side, and then we'll go to the front where you can cut that paper. Ugh. That was terrible on the teeth. I need to spread that away so I can work on here. Okay, let's set our corners in here. I should have cut that off, but oh well, I'll deal with it. I didn't get that even, so I got to roll over some tape. And then we're going to do the same thing here with this one. Roughly 3 5/8 of an inch. Okay, so that's our inside. Now we'll go to the outside where you can cut this piece and finish it. So as I stated, you are going to cut this piece. On the reverse side, when you flip this over, you've got the, oh, I think the buildings go this way. And then up on the top is that green piece that you're going to actually cut off. So this piece here is what we're going to use here. But the reverse side, where the record is going to go on this side. Now what I did with the record is that I came in right here and I carefully cut all the way around to the top of the poinsettia. And then I took a piece of red cardstock and I came in behind it so that there's a little bit of a red rim, so that when I get this down, this record became a pocket. And then this is going to be ultimately how it's going to look. So we can go ahead and get this done, and you can, once you cut that green banner off, then you'll be able to go in and finish your inside pocket. Because this is the bow. You'll be trimming off a bow down here that goes above this ornament. Because of all of the bronze, this color here, I was opting for as much green as I could get. And then, like I said, I kept this poinsettia, tried to center it just a little bit, trimmed off, and then this end here is where I found this poinsettia. So I did cut it out, and I've inked all the edges on this, and then I I glued it here in the center, and then we added this tag inside here. I'm going to cap this off here real quick, if you'll pardon a little bit of a break. All right, so on the inside here, I'm going to run some tape. see if I can get it all on there the right way. Now I don't want that to interfere with my taping, and I'm going to cut that out this time. Set that corner, and then I'm going to set this corner. And I realize you're probably going to need to pause, which is fine. That's the beauty of watching a video. You can stall it, pause it, get caught up, and then moved on to the next step. All right, so now we're going to change position here. And then you have several of these cards. You can pick it whichever one you want. I, in particular, liked this one that said Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. I could mount this onto red cardstock, but I don't think the opening is going to handle that extra width, because I don't want to cut down into the flower and I don't want to cut there. So I'm just going to be content with that. All right, so let's kind of go through. So hopefully I didn't mess you up too much with this. And then these both open up two ways. And then you should have this done here pretty quick. And then you've got your larger left panel, and then this one. And I'm going to turn mine over and start putting the tape down and get it in the album. Give it a good burnish. And I just flashed as I'm going over my bumps. I meant to put a row of bling. Can't have an album without bling. Got to have my pretties. I know these are going to be too long, but I'll cut it off when I get to the end. It's the second time I've poked myself. I've got so much sticky on my fingers, my needle is sticking to my hands when I pick it up. Okay, and then the last place I wanted to put it is in here. So I'm going to tack it down right here. And I'm going to come in behind this card. I'm going to tuck it in behind there. And then I will finish tacking it down. This should have gone on first before the card. My card's going to be all bent, so it's going to be ugly looking there. Come here. And I think what I'm going to try to do is glue the back of this card, and hopefully it will stick to the gems. Okay. I think we are done. So I am ready to put this in my album. So it's going to sit in here like so. And I'm going to turn it this way. And then come close to this edge, and now I know I'm looking for about 1/16 on all my sides here. Okay, let's get this out. And I want to make sure that my gusset is staying straight when I commit the tape. And then when I pull this last strip, I want to make sure that my gusset is laying straight, that it's not collapsing. Okay, let's get in here and let's give this a good old burnish. Okay. and the planned event, as we've got two buildings side by side. All right, I will be moving on to the fourth signature, and until then, have a good day.